Good morning, children. Today we are going to look into the rest of our writing skill and study skills from this lesson, and with that we should finish. And today we have here about two Roman numbers in writing skills. So this is to test your own knowledge. Now here there is a paragraph in page number 31. I will send you the picture as well. So they gave a precise few details about J.C. Bose. He's a scientist. He was a scientist. So we have few details about him. It's like you have to put them in the form of sentences. We have like short words, like only the hints were given. So you have to frame it into a passage. So that is your duty to do. Like, in order to do that, you should know where and how and which helping verbs to use. You need to frame a sentence with the hints given here. So it is quite important to have grammatical and vocabulary knowledge in it. Now, so make sure that you don't make any mistake where you have to use was, where you have to use is and all those things, and try to make a sentence with those. And I'm giving you this work for this week. So it's quite easy because you have everything given there. All you have to do is put it in proper sentences, that's all, and make a lengthy passage. Now I'll read a few bits and pieces here. Write a paragraph on J.C. Bose using the hints given below. You must use the right linkers to join the sentences. Linkers are nothing but to make a proper sentence. You need some other words to join, no? Some parts of speech to join the sentence and make a proper meaningful sentence. So here you have to use certain linkers to join these sentences. I will read two lines of this one, and then we'll look into it. J.C. Bose hyphen Indian scientist, born so and so date, Saint Xavier School. So it's just those simple or the main hint that is given, and you have to frame a sentence. See, for example, J.C. Bose was an Indian scientist. Here if we add was, then it will make proper meaningful sentence, no? So in that way you have to fill this one. Okay, and then we'll look into it. So this I will send this to you and you have to write it. And the other one, the passage given below has some errors in the use of capital letters, verbs, prepositions and articles. So we have learnt all of these in this class. I mean in this unit. Since we began this unit, we have learned what are prepositions, what are articles, and what are verbs, and all these things we learned, no? So he made quite a few mistakes in this paragraph that is given. So all you have to do is write the correct usage of those correct words. See, in our last class we learnt about using of right prepositions. For example, when we are using dates, years and places, names of certain places, we use in, on and at. So there are few prepositions that we use in a specific times. So here unnecessarily he gave capital letters and he did not use the appropriate preposition in certain cases. So this is also will be your work, ma. So this will be sent to you. I have written it here already, but I'll erase them before I send it to you. This will be sent to you, that paragraph. So because writing skill is, there is nothing much for me to tell in this one, because you have already learnt all this in our previous classes. All you have to do is put it into practice. So I'm very confident that you should be able to do them now, because of so much. See, we have spent about 5 classes literally on the grammar part of this unit. After we started second unit, we went on doing this grammar part and vocabulary part, because there is so much in this unit. Now, so you have 2 writing parts. That is your homework. You have to write, you have to elaborate these hints and make a passage about J.C. Bose, and everything is given there. All you have to do is add verbs and verbs, helping verbs and all those things. And then coming to the next Roman number, you have to do appropriate prepositions, articles and capital letters wherever necessary. Now I'm going to the study skills part. Okay, now let's see the study skills part. Here there is a pie chart for you. Now we all know what are pie charts, no? So he gave proteins, water, other dry elements. It's not clear, no? Other dry elements. Other dry elements. This is water. This is protein. 24%. Okay, now 11%. So this is just a representation of some data. We have been doing it from our first class, first chapter. So we have some details here and there will be questions given that you have to answer. I will tell them and then I will also send the picture so you can write it down in your notebooks. Now there is another chart here, pie chart here, which says bones 1/5, muscles 3/10, 1/5. Next, skin 1/10, and hormones, enzymes and other proteins. Hormones, enzymes and other proteins. Hormones, enzymes and other proteins go by 2/5. Okay. Now, in our previous classes we saw about the unemployment rates in different countries, right? That is one study skill that you have done. All you have to do is try to understand the data that is given here. It is the information, but it is given in the different form. In one of the classes we had it in a chart, and the other one we had what is that called, block diagrams, and here we have pie chart. So there is different methods of representing a data for our convenience. See, in order to, instead of writing this way, we can also make a tabular form and write it down. But this is much more understandable, no? When we see itself, we will know which percentage is taking more, and it is very easy to understand for anybody who doesn't even know how to read, right? The percentages are easily calculated with the naked eye. Now let's see what he says. Study the pie charts and answer the questions given below them. And distribution of weight in human body. So these charts represents the distribution of weight in human body. So he's saying water. So how much water weight in our body is around 65%. That is what he's saying. And other dry elements is 11%. Protein is about 24%. So that is how these elements are distributed in our body, and the weight of our body is depending on these factors. Now, which of the following constitute most of the weight in the human body? Now he is asking the question, which of the following, which of these is constitutes most of the weight? So it's very clear, no, this big part, even though we don't have this number here, we can still say by the picture, see, majority of this portion of this chart is taken by water. So obviously the answer is water. Next, which of the following statement is correct? So here he gave couple of statements. Proteins constitute 11% of the human body, he says. Proteins are 24%. So it is not right. B. Dry elements constitute about 15%. Dry elements, he says 15%, but the pie chart is saying 11% only. So that is also not correct. Next one. Hormones, enzymes and other proteins constitute 2/5 of the human body. We are coming to this one here. So he says hormones, enzymes and other proteins constitutes of 2/5. It is so clear that you can answer them like blindly, because it's not complicated or logical. What you see is what is asking, and it's very easy to read. So it's not very complicated to understand either. You don't even have to do any math in here. Now let's see. If a person's weight is 100 kilograms, how much does his bones weigh? Now here you have to do certain. If a person's weight is 100 kilograms, now he says bones 1/5. So what you can do the calculation, right? 100, you have to do that math. It's so simple. So if a person's weight is 100 kilograms, how much do his bones weigh? So his bones will weigh about, it's easy to calculate by mouth. You don't even have to take a pen and paper. 20 kilograms. If the protein is in a person weighs 12 kilograms, what will be his weight? Now the proteins. Here he says the proteins are about 24%. Now the proteins in a person weigh about 12 kilograms. So 12 kilograms of the body weight is proteins. Then how much does, what will be his weight? So you have to deduct by doing the calculation, and that will be about, see if a proteins in a person are 12 kilograms. Protein is about 12 kilograms. Then what is the weight of that person? So it is quite easy to calculate, children. You must be able to calculate it, and I think it is about 48 kgs. The person must be about 48 kgs if you calculate. Now what's the next question? Are the bones in our body heavier than the water in our body? Support your answer. This is, you have to put your brains in. Now here you have to think about it. So are the bones in our body heavier than the water in our body? So here we are saying, we are talking about the weight, no? This entire topic is about weight. So bones weigh about 20 kilograms. An average person's bones weigh about 20 kilograms, whereas water weighs about 65% of our weight. So water is heavier than bones in our body. It is pretty clear that water is taking the maximum weight of our body. Now let's see. Okay, we have, that is it. He gave only 5 questions, children, in this study skill. So all you have to do is, in this study skill you have both these pie charts, and all you have to do is answer these 5 questions which will be sent to you, and you can write these answers. First 2 questions are like by seeing the pie chart itself you can answer. Third, 4th fifth, you have to make a small calculation, and then you will be able to write them. Okay. So for today's work, let's have a recollection what we are doing. So we are writing about the passage, then correction of whatever he has given in the mistakes, like the prepositions, articles, appropriate usage of those parts of speech, and including capital letters, and study skill. Study skill is draw these pie charts, and there are 5 questions which will be sent to you, and you can answer them straight away. I have already told you the answers, so no worries about that. And last but not least, we have listening and speaking. So this is about if I read, you must be able to listen to the words carefully, and then you must be able to reciprocate it, which means you must be able to tell me back. But now that we do not have that chance, what we'll do is I will read out the listening unit, and then you will be, and there are few questions. Of course, I will send the page again, and there are true or false and certain questions asked. You can write them in your notebooks, and this is somewhere in the back of the textbook. For every unit there is a skill, speaking and listening skill that is given. So we are going to do that now, and then let's see what you understand from that. So the unit 2, it's page number 104, children. Page number 104, it says the inventor of inventors. Okay, very important, and something related to science as well, depending on our unit about C.V. Raman, and then we are talking about another scientist here. So I will read it out because this is listening and speaking. So when I send this to you, you can do the questions and true or false that are given along with. It is pretty clear, so easy. So it's just like how you can read. That is what is important. Okay. So now let's see the inventor of inventors. Okay. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So who said these words? Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Said by Thomas Alva Edison. We all know who is Thomas Alva Edison, right? So let's see. This reading part is about Thomas Alva Edison, and there are few questions that we can answer later. Now, listen carefully. Just listen. Instead of watching me, you better listen when I am reading this. That is much more helpful to analyze and develop your listening skill. Okay? Because it will help you how much you will understand when you hear something. So, listen to this carefully, children. Thomas Alva Edison, the greatest inventor of all times, is the most suitable example of his own saying. Okay, so the saying that he said before, it is a suitable example, it seems, of himself. This great, outstanding US inventor had the credit of making 1001 inventions. So how many inventions did he do? 1001. So 1001 inventions. And US inventor, US means he belongs to the United States. Can you imagine a world without electric light, recorded music, cinema, etc., which are the contributions of his great genius? So, electric bulb. We cannot live a second without electricity, right? So, recorded music. So that's if somebody is singing, we record it and we play it again and again and again. So record it, the ability to record one's music, that. And cinema, we all love cinemas, right? So all these contributions means he did 1001 inventions, and amongst them these are the major inventions that we are talking about now. Now see, Edison was born on February 11th, 1847 at Milan, Ohio. We heard this word, no? Ohio. Where is Ohio? We learned, no? In Ohio is a state in the New Blue dress. That girl that plays was from Ohio. Now, his father was in charge of a lighthouse at Lake Huron. So, his father, Thomas Alva Edison's father, was a lighthouse in charge. Where are lighthouses? You all know what is a lighthouse, no? It is present at the shores, a tall building, like a pillar-like building, and it has light on top of it, where the sailors in the middle of the sea can see the light, so that they'll know the direction where there is a shore to dock. So that is a lighthouse. It guides the light to sailors in the sea. Now, although he could not continue his studies in his school, he was very inquisitive from his boyhood to learn by understanding. Now, here if you see, he could not continue his studies in school for whatever reasons, that is not given here. So, he could not continue his studies in the school. But however, he was very inquisitive. Inquisitive means always very curious about learning things and understanding them, trying them. See, some small children, what they do, they'll if they have toys and all, usually boys, what they do, they tend to open it up and see what's inside it, how it is made. So the curiosity of learning how some things are made, that is inquisition. Curious, wanting to know. So he was always inquisitive, and from his boyhood means since he was a boy, he was always that way. Learn by understanding. He tries to understand how things are made and how everything is happening. So when he was only 10 years old, he set up a laboratory in the basement of his father's workplace. So what did he do? At his age of 10 years, he set up a laboratory in the basement of his father's workplace. Usually in America, they have basements where some have, in the basement they have all these unused things. Some have stationed up every tools. If carpenters are there, they do their work in the basements. Basement is nothing but the floor underneath the building into the ground, so one can use and do certain works over there. Okay, some people do not use their basements as workplaces, but some do. So he also set up his own laboratory in their basement. Okay, then what? So yeah, he loved to mix liquids and powders to observe the reaction. So what did he do? He used to love to mix that powder and this powder and some chemicals and see how they would react. So he's always curious about doing things like what will happen if I do this, what will happen if I do that. Most parents, restrict their children not to touch anything because of their overprotectiveness. But unless somebody has done that, we don't know what will happen. It might be good, it might be bad. Atomic bomb, not useful. I mean, depends on how we use things. So he was always curious, and he was doing all this, mixing of powders and chemicals and seeing how it would turn out. Now, let's see again, children. We had a short, right? Now, when he was only 10 years old, he set up a laboratory in the basement of his father's workplace. He loved to mix liquids and powders to observe the reactions. Now, at the age of 12, he began selling newspapers and candy in trains. So, what did he do? At the age of 12, he began selling newspapers and candy. Newspapers and candy means nothing but chocolates, you all know, right? In trains. As a very keen observer, he learned some preliminary techniques of telegraphy. So he learned some techniques of telegraphy from the station master. Telegraphy means sending information from one station to the other, from station master. Because he was he was selling candy in the trains, he get to know the station master, right? So he learned some techniques how to use the telegraphy, which led him later to work as a roving telegrapher. So he worked on a roving telegraph. Sorry. He worked as a roving telegrapher later on because he learned the technique while selling the candy, and then he worked as a roving telegrapher. During his stint as a supervisor in the telegraph company, he created a stock printer. With the money received from it, he set up a laboratory for carrying out his experiments and research work. So while he was working as a telegrapher, he saved up money and he started his own laboratory. And then he did his own experiments and research work within his laboratory. In subsequent years, he invented phonograph, a machine for recording and reproducing sound. So phonographs are, like the big horn type, and then they have this round thing that plays the big size CDs, that is a phonograph. So he invented that one, the machine for recording and producing sound. Edison thus made man's voice immortal. So by inventing this phonography, he made man's voice immortal. Mortal means death, there is no life. Immortal means no death at all. So he made man's voice, because even though the person is not alive, we still can hear their voice, in the form of these recordings. That is what he means about in this sentence. So he made human's voice immortal. Voice is always there. We can hear all there were so many music composers and singers who are not around now, who passed away, but still we know their songs, we have their songs because of his inventions. We have the recordings of their songs and the music that is still available for us, even though the person is not available now. So Edison thus made man's voice immortal. In 1878 he demonstrated the light bulb. So in 1878 he demonstrated about the light bulb, a carbon filament electric bulb. Carbon filamented, the filament is made out of carbon, and electric bulb. So we should be very thankful for him. No, without electricity there is no light, there is no phones, there are no internet, nothing will work, no fans, nothing. Everything is made easy. Washing machines, our refrigerators, without electricity. But electricity was there, but the usage of bulb and light, without, we would still be with oil lamps maybe, or candles, if we did not invent those electric bulbs. Now the last paragraph. While experimenting on electric lamp, he discovered an important scientific principle known as Edison's effect. Now while he was inventing his lamp, electric lamp, he was working on it, he discovered, so there is something there that he discovered, which is the Edison effect. It is named after his name. This discovery led to the invention of electron valves, and modern electronics industry rests on this principle. Now electron valves are nothing but these tiny valves that help to pass the current or pass the electricity, which are used in our mobile phones, laptops, all the electric devices. See, when we are plugging in, how is the current passing through the machines? How is the refrigerator working? Because power is somewhere and the machine is here, and we are using certain cables and valves in it so that the electricity is passed through and the machine works. Now in 1882, what he says is like that principle, what he discovered, that principle is still used in our electronic devices. In 1882 he set up a power generation station which supplied power to few residents of New York City. So in 1882 what he did, he set up his own power generation, how to produce power to certain few houses in New York City. Later he developed the kinetograph, which was first step towards motion picture camera. So later he developed the kinetograph. Kinetograph is the technique that is used in video cameras, which helps to record the moving, motion means nothing but movement, no? So we have pictures, still photographs, that is not motion. So when somebody is moving, somebody is talking, see this, when I am talking, it's been recorded, no? So he is the first person to invent something like that. Kinetograph, which was first step towards motion picture cinema. Then cinema houses are here today because of the inventive genius of Edison. Because of Thomas Alva Edison only we are able to record anything, shoot anything and save it and watch it later on. See the pictures, his basic steps gave improved, and later on people improved, used his technique and then developed more skills and added more knowledge into it, and then they developed. But the basic idea was, basic invention was made by Thomas Alva Edison. His other inventions include the spheres of X-ray, telephone and other electronic items. So his other inventions, what are his other inventions? There are 1001 to say, but here some include spheres of X-rays. How the X-rays pass through, then they have these spheres so that the rays are nothing but light beams, no? How they pass through. Telephone and other electronic items. His inventions made him one of the richest men in America. So his inventions really made him a richest man. Obviously, he did lot of inventions that are helpful for mankind. So he is paid for his principles, like he is paid for his ideas. He can sell those to companies, so those companies can build by his idea and make many more of them. This genius passed away on 18th October 1931. So Thomas Alva Edison, he passed away on 18th October 1931. This is his children. This page is just a simple, precise topic of Sir Thomas Alva Edison. So I will send this to you as well, and there are few not exercises but just a few true or false that are asked depending on this passage. These questions are given. So let's see once. Now here, listening and speaking. Now he says, say whether the following statements are true or false. We already read the topic, no? From that topic we have to identify whether these are true or false. When Edison was 12, he established a school. Did he? No. When he was 12, what he was doing? He was selling candy in the train, no? And newspapers and candy. So that is a false. Edison discovered an important principle known as the Edison effect. Yes, it is his discovery. When he was working on something, he made a discovery that something existed and he found it out. So that is true. Edison was a poor observer. He was not, no, he was always interested, inquisitive. So he was not a poor observer. That is false. Edison's father was a school teacher. What did he say? Edison's father was not a school teacher, no. What was he? He was I forgot. Edison's father is in charge of lighthouse. He was in charge of a lighthouse. Next, Edison loved to mix liquids and powders to observe the reaction, which is true. So these are the true and false that are asked based on the topic. And then here is a list of inventions. Put a tick mark against them if it was invented by Edison. So light bulb, there are few inventions that are given here. If any of them are done by Thomas Alva Edison, then you have to put a tick mark. I will send this page to you, including the lesson part, this listening part. So this is it for today. I hope you understood. I felt like I rushed a bit, but there is nothing much, because exercises are something for you to do and develop your understanding from the lessons. So either way, I am giving the answers and I am sending you the pictures of every single page that I am teaching. So it is not difficult. The difficult part is for you to concentrate and then and then writing from the mobile phones, that would be difficult. But either way, you have to do a little homework at home. So please do, children. For today I am giving you what did we talk about? The pie charts. We have to do the pie charts. Write the passage about J.C. Bose, and then there are a couple of mistakes that you have to correct from that passage, and add certain prepositions, articles and verbs wherever necessary, including and capital letters as well. So this week you have lot of writing work. I usually don't give, but this is from the textbook. I am not giving any sort of imposition or writing work for your learning. This is from your textbook that you have to write. So please do follow and write them, because we have about 3 days time for the next class now. So it will be easy, don't worry, and I will send you the pictures of every work that you have to do. And for today I think it's good, we'll wind up and call it a day, right? So please do stay safe and keep doing the works, children. As I said, don't pile it up, because at the end it will be very difficult for you to do them. So take care then. Thank you. Bye bye.